Welcome to the Table Talk Podcast. It's Caleb. I'm here with David. It is 2 days after Easter, or for our more liturgical calendar friends, it is the second day of Easter, Easter season. So third day, technically, I guess, because it's Tuesday. Don't ask me. That's why I don't belong to that kind of tradition. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I was born and raised in Christian church.
Same.
Easter was Sunday.
Easter Sunday. That's it. No more, no less. Let's not even get started talking about our Orthodox friends. Their Easter's next Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, it's the Tuesday after Easter.
Yeah.
And it's not even Tuesday for you because you're hearing this on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So everything I just said was a lie, basically.
Nothing is real.
Nothing is real.
I'll tell you what was real. It was a real good day. Actually, a real good week. We had our Good Friday service, and that was a really great way to kick off the weekend.
Yep.
To kind of get me in the mindset of Resurrection Day and of Christ, of Him dying and rising. The greatest story ever told.
Yep.
And
the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Most important, greatest, most perfect thing that's ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
And what's amazing about those, even we hear this story over and over and over again. And we're reading through the scripture at the Good Friday service, and it hits me again of how wild it is and how wild Christ's love is for us.
It's, I got emotional on Sunday and I didn't mean to, but it just, talking about the story is just so powerful. And I think, for me, I love Good Friday. The way we've done that service is because we just read the story. Like, it's not frills and fancies. It's like, let's just read the story. And I think the older I'm getting, it's becoming clearer to me, like Jesus was around my age when all of this happened. I mean, he's a few years older than me, but not many. And I just think Jesus is perfectly human. I am only human. Jesus is more than human. I'm only human, but I know what I feel and what I carry. The stress, the worries, the different things that take up attention and take up room in your mind. And I wasn't concerned with saving the world from their sin, And it's like, man, just the thought of what he carried, even just leading to the cross. I mean, the cross itself is one thing, but just the knowledge of this is what is going to happen. Mm-hmm. This is what's coming. And then to know that, we don't know, I don't think anyone knows exactly at what point all of that became like concrete knowledge. Did he know it at birth? Did he how much of his own identity did he grow into? We learn. We don't know, but he knew at least for 3 years, right, that this is what he was heading toward. And to think he knew that and carried that and still didn't sin and still endured and still faced the cross, enduring its shame, as the author of Hebrews tells us, and then going to the cross and dying. It's just, I don't know, man, it gets me. And then knowing what was coming on Sunday too, like Jesus knew he would rise, but the human part of him had to, what is this going to be like? I don't know. It blows my mind.
Yeah. One thing has really stuck with me this year that I've really been thinking about, and it's kind of an odd thing to even think about, is Jesus was born, died, and in that he chose to be in human form forever. Mm-hmm. And for some reason this year it's kind of hit me oddly that Jesus is somewhere in human form. It is presently, and he's going to come back in human form and live all eternity.
Yeah, the incarnation didn't cancel when he ascended.
No.
The human resurrected Jesus Christ sits in heaven right now.
Yeah. And I think, obviously I know that, and that's hit me before, but some reason this year, it has just been it's what does that mean? Where is he?
I know.
What is going on? And it just is. It's really cool for me to think about, and it's added weight to the idea that he showed the way for us. It's like, it's more than just he showed us how to live. It's like, no, he showed the path for resurrection.
Yeah.
He showed what it's going to be like when we die, and then when he comes back, he showed the literal way, and he chose to be like us for all eternity.
This is who God is. Like, that is crazy.
Yes.
And we just tell these stories. I'm really glad you brought that up, because like we tell these stories and we get so used to it, it just becomes second nature. And it's like, no. This is not something that just like happened. Like, this is the coolest and the best and the most incredible thing.
Yeah.
God did not choose to become man. Like Jesus, God the Son, who existed as God the Son for all time, before anything, didn't just choose to become Jesus the man for 33 years. Jesus Christ, as man and God, sits with God at his right hand right now and will forever. That is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's hard to even, obviously we can't comprehend it completely. But like you said, we can comprehend the human side of it. And I think that's also what makes it so Easter and Resurrection Week, the whole Passion Week, what makes it so relatable is like the pain and the suffering and the physical part that Jesus went through is something that we can actually a little bit understand. What and even a little bit of the mental. We've all gone through times that have been stressful or hard or exhausting, or where we've been sad or we've been nervous.
Right.
What I think, what we can't understand is the depth and how big it was that Jesus did know.
Yeah.
He did understand what was about to happen to him. And man, it's just, there's so many.
There's so much.
There's so much. And we're not even scratching the surface. And I know we've said this several times where it's been like, we can talk about these stories forever.
Yeah.
And never get old and always be new. And I will talk about it the rest of my life. And I know that when time comes for me to go to heaven, and I'm just like the road to Emmaus, I'm going to be talking to people and be like, well, did you see this thing?
Yeah,
and it's like, what?
I know.
This is even better than I imagined. And so
I know. It's, people, sometimes you get into questions of, well, will we just know everything? And I'm like, man, I really hope not. And even if we did, this is not where we thought this podcast is going to go today, by the way. That's okay. Even if we did, even if when we are with Jesus, we knew everything ever, God is still so infinite. God is still so deep and vast. We would never run out of things to learn about him.
Yeah.
Like that is just, he is. That's how he identifies himself. I am. God is. So anything we could learn about God, there is still an inexhaustible resource of new things to learn about who God is and how great he is. And same with Jesus. it's just, I don't know. It's incredible. John ends his gospel by saying, I've written these things so that you may know the story and whatever, and you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, God's son. And then he says, if I were to write down everything that Jesus said and did, there wouldn't be enough books. The world couldn't hold all the books it would take. And it's like, man, I want to read those books. It's like, I want those. Give me those. I can't wait until I get to know those stories too, because it's just incredible.
It's like when you're reading the Old Testament, it says, and the other information about them was written in the books of the
books and the annals of the kings of Israel. Yeah. It's like, where are those?
Well, I want to read through some of those.
Right.
But that Jesus' book is endless and never ending, and it's beautiful.
It should evoke awe in us.
Yeah.
and not just like, wow, that's really cool, but I mean like legitimate. Think of the meaning of that word awe, like just almost incomprehensible, like just amazement at what is happening. Like I think that's what the story of the incarnation and the crucifixion and the resurrection, like that's what it should evoke in us. And I hope that, I hope that we never become so familiar with the story that we lose that sense of awe around it.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. You spoke a little bit about resurrecting in our lives and how it affects and how it should carry on. The resurrection should carry on with us and how it changes our lives. Can you give us a little overview of what you talked about?
Yeah, we just talked about the fact that Jesus is life. I mean, like new life is found in him, resurrected life is found in him. John says that he has brought life, like, and he was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In him was the life. In him was life, and that life was the light for all mankind. Like Jesus himself is the essence of life, and all of us are looking to find the essence of life. Where we think we'll have finally found peace or hope or just like arrival, and we look for it in possessions or in achievement or in accomplishment or in our families or in our own like kind of self identification or whatever, and all those places turn up empty. And we're kind of told or marketed to whatever or taught that if we just get to a certain place or achieve a certain thing or get a certain amount of possessions that we'll finally feel like we're living. And it's like, it's like looking for the living among the dead. It's like, it's not here. You're not finding life here. But the resurrected Jesus is where life is actually found. And so tied that back into Mark's whole gospel, where Jesus is on the way to Jerusalem, where he will die and rise. And he's telling people, come with me, come follow me, come be on the way with me. And I think that's the invitation for us is, what does it look like for us to turn toward life in Jesus and be on the way with him now? Like he's resurrected, he's ruling, he's reigning, he's coming again. How do I reorient my life so that I can lay down the worry or pressure or shame I feel on myself to kind of create my life and build it and have all that pressure to hold it together? And how do I lay that down and turn toward Jesus and know that you are where life is found? I want to follow you in it. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It is the story of Easter and laying our life down. I love the end of John where he says, the light shines in the darkness and the darkness has not overcome it.
Yeah.
And I think what's beautiful about this season is, in a world of darkness, like you can flip on the news right now and you can see darkness.
Yeah.
You can.
And we don't know what it's going to be like on Thursday because everything changes every day.
Yeah.
It seems like it gets darker and darker.
Yeah. And so, but to have the hope that the darkness has not overcome it. And there's probably people listening to this podcast right now that feel in darkness.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up and being in like a completely dark room, waking up and my parents had shut off all the lights.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like it's like, this is darkness. Like this is scary. I don't like it. And yet what we read out of that is, man, Jesus gives us hope.
Yep.
There is hope.
Yep.
Even in the darkest of times, you can chase after that light, and he's good. And he will revive you. He will give you life. He will give you purpose when we choose to follow him. And anyways, I thought you did a great job this whole weekend. Good Friday, the Easter service.
It wasn't. I appreciate that, but it was. Everybody here did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Obviously the staff did amazing things and stepped up. But we had so many volunteers this weekend too that just really served. We did 2 services. We did Good Friday.
Yeah.
We got done with Good Friday, and I had high schoolers come up to me saying, "Hey, can we help put the chairs up?" Like, yes, just so many people poured so much into this weekend, and it's a testament to what God is up to. I hope in us as a community. So it was really awesome.
Yeah. Even children's ministry alone, we had a lot of volunteers on Sunday, and for them to give up a portion of their Easter, what for a lot of people is a big time of celebration for their family, and be willing to be there. That's incredible.
Yep.
And so I thought it was a great weekend. It was an encouraging weekend, and I'm thankful for it.
Yep, me too.
Now,
it was good.
Where are we headed? And
That's a great question. Where are we headed?
I guess
come back next week for our eschatology podcast.
Where are we heading as far as sermon series go?
Okay, I see. I see what you're saying.
Because we just wrapped up our series On the Way, correct?
Yes.
And now we're heading into a new series.
We're heading into a series called When Good Becomes God. And so we're kind of continuing along that same theme of like what are good things that we make ultimate things? You know, what are some of the things in our life that are good, that are gifts from God, that there's nothing wrong with, but we make them into ultimate things. And when they become ultimate things, they become idols that steal our hearts. So what happens when we take, our, money, which isn't a bad thing, but it becomes, we make it the ultimate thing and then it rules our life. What happens when we take sex or marriage or family, good things, but they become ultimate things and they start to control our life? What happens when we take our own kind of, whether it's your Instagram account or your social media presence or just your kind of identity and whatever, like what happens when you make it an idol? So, how do we let the good things be good, but let God be God, and let Him prioritize and sort all of that out for us?
Sounds awesome. Sounds like a perfect series coming out of Mark and out of the Easter season. If we're gonna follow Him, let's reprioritize things in our lives. So,
and Ron's kicking that off Sunday, so I'll be out of town this weekend. And Ron's kicking it off, and it'll be great. I'm a little bummed to be out of town. It's going to be a fun little trip. But yeah, it'll be Ron's going to do a great job.
Yeah, always does. I thought it was a good weekend. I'm excited for this next one, and can't wait to dive in.
Same. Hey, well, we'll see you guys next week on the Table Talk podcast. Hope you have an amazing weekend, and I hope to see you here on Sunday for church, 10:30. Talk to you guys later.